I'm sure everybody here knows what this symbol is. They call it the Illuminati, when it's actually the hands of the Kohanim. I also want you to understand about the K and the G. In the Arabic, they say Ha, and it's the K and the G together. And when they split the languages, some of the words got the G, some of the words got the K. And they are respectively 7G and 11K. It's always been about 7-11. Sept for September is 7, not 9. This has always been about 7-11. And I'm in Las Vegas, so I understand the 7-11 concept. It's a game of chance. It's a pair of dice. I live in Paradise, Las Vegas, the Lost Betas. So it's the hands of the Goyim, the Goahim. It's the same word. You swap the G for the K. So this is the Koahim priesthood. This is what they call the source of the Illuminati. This priesthood is very, very, very old. Their symbol is one of the changing of the ages. When you do this symbol, it invokes, listen to me, the gods of Jupiter and Mars. The thumbs together and the two fingers. This symbol happens in the heavens on the 2020 winter solstice, when Saturn and Jupiter, the middle finger and the first finger, meet. The Sun with Mercury meet, and Mars in Pisces. Saturn and Jupiter in Capricorn. It's not happening where they want it to happen, because in using their calendar, it's going to happen in Aquarius. But in the true zodiac, it happens in Capricorn, and Jupiter is debilitated there. Jupiter is debilitated in this sequence this time around. But this is what they do. This is what this is all about. It's what it's always been about. Here's the correct one. You see it in many different ways. But this is when they all come together. And it's the changing, actually it's the priesthood of the changing of the ages in the battle of fire and ice between Aries and Pisces. And when you go into a synagogue, and the priest gets up to do his benediction or his liturgy in a synagogue, this is the first thing he does, is he holds his hands like this. It's this, live long and prosper. And this symbol will be made in the heavens on the winter solstice of 2020 in Capricorn. To me, that's what all of the 7-11 take a chance, throw the dice ritual has been about. You have to remember, they use a different calendar than we do. They're still on an Aries calendar. Their God, they obey the first commandment. There shall have no other God before me. Therefore, their zodiac, their year, their time always starts with Aries, Mars, and Jupiter. And those are the Roman gods. That's the ones they exalt. That's the high gods of Jupiter and Mars. The gods include Jupiter, Neptune, Mars, Apollo. It's a pantheon. They do them all, just like Egypt did. But their specific deities for Rome have always been the highest god, Zeus, Jupiter, and then the god of war, Mars. And Mercury is considered the son of Zeus. The tales are mixed up depending on who you hear tell them, depending on what culture is telling the story, or what age, what timeline. It varies. But what you do is you find the stories in the different cultures, in the different zodiacs around the world, in the different mythologies, and then it becomes more clear. You get more than one witness, right? Get more than one witness to the story, so you have to learn to talk to other peoples. But the images, it's all about images. And Mars, the god of thou shalt have no other god before me, actually forbade the people from making graven images, because there was power in the images. The images were only for the priesthood. The people weren't allowed to have the images, because the images embodied the spirit, the frequency of the deity that they invoke, because the sacrifices are made to these images, right? And even some of the other gods proclaim that you're just worshiping false images that neither speak nor see. So this whole age has just been incredible. We've all drowned in this sea of Pisces, of this mutable sea of chaos. But we can learn from each other, because they divided the zodiac, they divided the myths, they divided the legends. And so when you learn about the different constellations, the different people's views of them, you start seeing more clearly what's really behind all of that. And the hands of the Kohen to live long and prosper, the 2020 ritual, which is a halfway point between two solar eclipses. It fits in perfectly with the 7 years of Jacob's trouble, and then all of this, even this moon thing going down with Taurus and the moon in the third eye of the bull, while they're having their elections, and then gonna land a craft on the moon. They're going to the moon. The moon in Arabic is named Sin. It's not Mount Sinai, it's Mount Sin. And these are the symbols. They do it all the time. We see this in the Catholic iconography. This is where I learned. It was actually from the Catholics. Let's take out Roman. Put in, because the Catholics worship good old Jove, right? Worship good old Jove. But you can watch them. They hold up these fingers. There's your two fingers right there. That's Saturn and Jupiter conjunction. That's what that means. It's a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. It happens every 20 years. And when you know what sign it's in, right? This one would be, he's got on the red. He's Aquarius. He's the man on the cross. It's the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in Aquarius. And in tropical astrology, that's where it's happening. But in sidereal or alchemical astrology, it's happening in Capricorn. So he would have on the black robe, on the cardinal cross. This is the fixed cross. This is the man on the fixed cross with a Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. And this is how you decode this. I've done all these videos. This is Virgo with baby Mercury. And once you start to pick up on it in one set of iconography, Saturn-Jupiter conjunction. It's always the two fingers. It's when the two come together. Jupiter the flesh, Saturn the spirit. When it happens in Capricorn, the spirit dominates the flesh. Desire is pushed aside. Jupiter is desire, and Mars is emotion. And that's what really the last 2 ages have been about, is learning to control our emotions and learning to control our desires. And we've done neither. Our emotions are completely out of control, and the desires are gone to the dark end of the scale. But it's in every culture around the world. Everybody was given a piece of the pie, a piece of Osiris's body. And they lost the phallic, so they created one. And it's the fake phallic. It's the faux phallic. It's the Phoenician fallacy. It's a fake fallacy. It's all a myth. A myth. Let's see if I can, let me get to a better page. A myth. What is a myth? Let's just do it here. It's my God. My God is a myth. It's my story. And a smith is, a smithy is a blacksmith, right? The blacksmith is telling you that he is actually the priesthood. The blacksmiths are the priesthood. They were the gods of fire. They smelted the gold. They smelt it with their nose, right? They show you the nose means they smelt. They have the crooked nose, the crooked smelters. They smelted the coins for the temple coins. Money started in the temple. It's all about religion, or my myth, my secret myth. The smith has a secret myth because he smelts the gold. And that's what it's all about, is you have to learn the correct symbolism so you don't fall for the crap that Hollywood puts out. You see, their rabbi is not on a cross. He's Nick. He's Rabbi Nick instead of the rabbi on the cross, and they give you the rabbit of Orion. Oh, come along now. It's arguing with me. Did I lose my internet connection again? It definitely don't want to give me images. There we go. It was me, not them, pushing the wrong button. But we know that this symbol here is the changing of the ages between Aries, fire, and water, Pisces. And that it's a chimera god of Jupiter and Mars. Jupiter and Mars below, and Venus and Mercury above. Libra and Virgo opposite Pisces and Aries. And that's the way it's done. And that's what it is. And it's very, very, very old. How old? Remember when the priest came back, when Ezra brought the priest back from Babylon, there was not a Levi among them. Not one. Remember that. It is the priesthood. Again, from the Yid-ish, this is what they do. Today they're the Kohen. They're the Kohanim. Or the Gohanim. and they rule the synagogue, which is a place of learning, or sin itself, the moon. Astrologers watch the moon. They couldn't see the stars by the day. It's all lunar. We're just now entering into the time of solar astrology, because now we can look at things like Stellarium and with telescopes, and we know where the stars are going to be at that time. But many still just, I don't know why they can't let go of the traditions when it's obviously so corrupted. I don't know about you, but when I do tropical astrology, or even try to go along, watch some of the sidereal, it just doesn't fit at all. But alchemical astrology, it fits me very well. And the charts I've done, they seem to be really happy with it. I'll be really excited to see where it goes in the future as more people wake up to alchemy. To me, this is really about alchemy. It's not about astrology. It is about alchemy is everything. Alchemy teaches you how to interpret everything. It's the one legend, the one myth, the one story that makes sense of all the others. It's almost like a pure language within itself. If ever there was going to be a restoration of a language, it would be the language of alchemy, because it's pure. It's the language of nature. It's the language of the stars. It's the language of the languages. It helps you unbibble the scribble so that you can find the true meaning, or the root meaning behind a thing, instead of all the hocus pocus mumbo jumbo that we've all been given for eons. Those of us who are not allowed to know, they give us everything perverted and upside down. Everything. And they make it as disgusting and as despicable as possible. So the only thing I know to do to combat that is to become the kindness, become the love this world deserves, in spite of all of the manipulation